Fantasy Draft, the only rake-free daily fantasy site, brings the heat again with a $700,000 guaranteed rake-free contest. The Hooters main event. This is the largest and only rake-free contest of its kind you'll find for Week 4. And remember, only on Fantasy Draft are 100% of the entry fees paid to contest winners. Sign up at FantasyDraft.com with referral code WBLZ, and you'll get a free 7-day trial membership.
Ironic Radio proudly presents Daily Fantasy Sports, Fantasy Foreplay, powered by DailyFantasyLines.com.
For the touchdown. Broncos jump. Free play for Rodgers. He knows where to go with it. For Valdez-Scantling. In the end zone. It's a Packer touchdown. Jamal Agnew was benched a week ago. And the win over the Chargers. But back in there today, a dangerous return man is Agnew. And he's across midfield. And he might take this one all the way. He will take it all the way. Jamal Agnew, 100 yards. No penalty flags on the field. And the flea flicker. Carr has an open receiver. And it's J.J. Nelson. And Nelson is in for the score.
Mahomes looking to throw it. He will. Delivers downfield. Catch made. McCall Hardman. Goodbye. A blur. Touchdown, Kansas City.
On 4th and 5. Jones steps up. Takes off. He's in. Touchdown. Prescott to the end zone. Touchdown. It's another one for Amari Cooper.
Baltimore Ravens on the move. Back to the bread and butter. Flashing is Ingram. Mark Ingram, a stiff arm, and he throws inside the pylon. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Philip Lindsay, is he stopped? No! Touchdown, Broncos.
The block by Jimmy. That's picked off. They're going to come the other way, and this is Jamal Adams with the block and a pick six.
59 seconds to go. Kyle Allen over the middle. That one is complete. DJ Moore in for the touchdown.
Punt travels to the 47.
Hit Harris with a little wiggle, and there he goes. Deontay Harris going to take it the distance.
I don't believe what I just saw.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to DFS Fantasy Foreplay in this week 4. What a week 3 we had, though, gentlemen, huh? A little bit of money in the pocket, yeah?
You could say that.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Joining me, as always, is Dan McClellan, senior writer, ironicmedia.com, and Webboy, our statistician. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. How was your bankroll after last week?
I am back up into the positive, so I'm very excited about that. And sorry that my Skype call dropped out. Might try Skyping back in here to upload a new version of it.
Of course.
It likes to do that, but it happens. All right, gentlemen. Well, why don't we kick this off and jump right in here? We'll start off with everyone's favorite segment here. Our lovely Hot Mess Express, where we welcome the players that were projected to perform and just did the opposite. Did nothing last week. I will kick us off with a few names here. One, Mr. Todd Gurley. Where are you, Todd? What's going on? What did he do? 14 carries for 43 yards? Yeah, that's great.
That might have been second half numbers, but yeah. I don't think the game script was there for him. They seem not to even like.
How can you say the game script's not there as a lead back?
I know.
He rushed for 14 times. He only got 43 yards.
It was an abysmal game. It was an abysmal game. What, let's see.
You want me to throw someone else out there? How about Randall Cobb, who had the matchup of all matchups, the guy that was the slot corner for the opposing team, allowed, what was it, Dan? 100% catch rate? To the
100% catch rate, yes.
And he got us, 3 points. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, Gurley for 43, averaging 3 yards.
3
a carry.
How many receptions?
Oh, 1 target.
Yeah.
No receptions.
Yeah, how's that working for you, Todd?
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not on here long enough yet for us to like give you a car or anything, but welcome to the train. Randall Cobb, we welcome you. You've been here before. Unfortunately, we gave your bunk away, so you get a coach seat.
What I wanted to ask this before we jumped into this. What position did we finish in fantasy draft
Last week?
Yes.
Our built lineup last week.
Because I didn't play our built lineup. I played mine. Dan, do you have that?
7 days. I have it right here.
It was 199.51, I believe. And we finished in the top 4.5%.
Yeah.
4.7%.
Oh, you see where Web Boy finished?
You finished 929.
929. Moving on up.
Well done. Good
Moving
job.
on up.
Hey, it outperformed your line, outperformed the line we all built.
And it was a slight nuance difference. I mean, it wasn't, anything major that was different, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you ran John Ross.
Yeah, I want to put him on the Hot Mess Express.
Yeah, you can put him there.
His matchup was supposed to be...
You had Lockett. We didn't have Lockett in our lineup.
Yeah, I did have... Yeah, only 1% drafted for Tyler Lockett, and he put up 35 points.
Yeah, we had Demarius Bird, who got a whopping 2.9 points, as opposed to your Lockett. We had Eckler, Julio. You have no Eckler, nor Julio.
No Julio. Oh, okay. I had a draft.
Keenan Allen, David Johnson. You had neither of them.
And I didn't put.
Keenan Allen.
I didn't. Yeah, well, I've been hot on
Dalvin Cook. You had Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, you got to run the two of them. I'm sorry.
And we had Kyler Murray as our quarterback. He went with Dak. So yeah, it's an extremely different lineup.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was slightly different, but anyway. Yeah. Well, that's 2 out of 3. First week we in the money. Second week just outside.
Well, the snow. Second week we got
injury.
Second week, what was that, Dan?
Well, we had Ben Roethlisberger stacked with Juju, and then that just blew up with elbows.
Yeah.
Elbow.
You got 2 calls going on there. Yeah, that didn't pan out with that. So I mean, you can't fault that for.
I have another individual for our Hot Mess Express who was projected to have a large game, and that's one Mr. Emmanuel Sanders, who got us another whopping 3 points.
Oh yes. Emmanuel Sanders. That was
And the last one that I will put on our Hot Mess Express and let you all add your characters to the cars is one Mr. Kenny Galladay, who everything was set up for him to have a big game, kind of like what Devontae Adams did last night, and did not with another whopping 3 points. So thank you, gentlemen. You are all inductees of the Hot Mess Express for this week 4. Anybody care to add anyone else? Dan?
Yeah, I haven't, Guy, and it's only because it's affecting my lineup build for this week. Whenever possible, I want to attack the Arizona Cardinals defense with running backs. But with Chris Carson fumbling the ball every game and being pulled, I have no idea what's going to happen with the Seattle backfield. So it's hard for me to play anybody there. So I'm avoiding a game that I want to play because Chris Carson can't hold on to the ball.
Chris Carson was horrible.
Yes, terrible. All right, so why don't we jump into week 4 here?
Can I add
Go ahead.
my Kyler Murray to the Hot Mess Express?
I don't know if you really can add him. I mean, he got us. What did he get us? I left it. Now I don't have it.
Kyler Murray was
I think he got us like 19.52 points. I mean,
8
that's...
sacks, most of them his fault.
Is that objective or is that...
No, that's fact.
Okay.
Holding on to the ball way too long.
So you're going to take a rookie and put him on there even though he's still learning.
4 yards a completion.
That's not him. That's the coaching staff.
Oh, come on.
Come on, they still have the training. Remember when Eli first came in the league? What was he throwing? He was throwing like 10 passes a game, no longer than 8 yards.
How many interceptions did he have?
I don't know.
Oh, a couple. 8 sacks, couple interceptions, 4 yards a completion.
Fine, I will let you add
Express.
him to the Hot Mess Express.
I don't want to hear this rookie stuff. If that's the case, then you can't talk about the Jets quarterback. I mean, he was on the practice squad, and he performed horrible.
Hey, the Jets scored more points than any other team that has faced the Patriots this year. There's that. And their defense scored them all.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Dan, anybody else you want to add before we move along here?
No, I kind of agree with you though, Steve, with Kyler Murray, especially from us from DFS perspective. And he almost got a 2x return, and his lower salary really freed up the ability to play some of the other plays that we made that paid off. So I have no problem with what Murray did for us last week.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm definitely on your side. I can see where Webb's coming from, just strictly from a talent perspective. And, you're a touted kid and you should have a better football head than this. And, if you're holding on to the ball too long, well, that's growing pains. I will give that growing pains. 8 sacks, count 4 of them are his fault. 4 of them the defense just blitzed and broke down the offensive line. I'll give that too. All right, moving on to this week. Why don't we start in the quarterback area here? I'm really only on one guy this week. I'm really literally only on one quarterback this week. There are a few out there that we'll definitely, I'm sure, all talk about because I think we're all in vastly different directions here.
Yeah.
What I love about it is I think the one guy you're on is the same guy I am.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even appear on that screen right now because you have to scroll down to find his price. Yet there's a very good chance he'll do what he did last week, and that's be the top performing quarterback in fantasy football.
Yeah, and that one guy that Dan was alluding to that you must scroll down to go find is Russell Wilson. I think he is GPP in cash game. He's a lock there. He is part of my core builds this week when it comes to building lineups for sure, without a doubt. If I'm going to go any place else, I'm either going to go over to Daniel Jones against the Redskins, or I'm going to go Phil Rivers against Miami. And that's pretty much like where I'm at with it. Those are my lineup builds that I've done so far. Those are the 3 quarterbacks, and most of my builds are Russell Wilson.
And here's the thing about Wilson compared to Rivers. Look, Wilson, who is $1,400 cheaper than Rivers there, he's like 11.4 or something like that compared to
11.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Wilson ran for 2 TDs last week. And if Rivers runs for a first down, the Chargers put it up on their Twitter account and make a joke about it.
Daniel Jones ran for 2 also. And on a 4th down, which I thought was a ballsy move.
Well, that's just play calling. It's the Giants. They have nothing to lose.
Ballsy
Let's go
move.
see what the kid can do. Kid, go play football.
Ballsy move. I'm all over Daniel Jones this week. I mean, he's priced a little higher, I believe, than Russell Wilson.
Daniel Jones is coming in at 10.9.
Oh, no, he's cheaper. 10.9 gives you a lot more room. He'll put up the 20.
Not much. It gives you $500.
Okay, that's enough to buy up a wide receiver or a defense, because when you're looking at bottom barrel defenses this week, that's bottom barrel.
Well, okay.
It's bottom barrel.
When we get to defenses, I want Dan to talk about what conversation that he and I had earlier this week, which I just think is absolutely fascinating, but we'll shelve that for now. Dan, where are you at? Anybody else QB-wise, or are you riding the Wilson train too?
Yeah, I'm way on the Wilson train. Those who want to pay up for Patrick Mahomes and probably have a different lineup build than we are going to have, I am not going to argue against that, considering he's playing the Lions for the first time ever he's going to be in a dome. I find that remarkable that Patrick Mahomes, with his 50 TDs last year, none of them came in a dome. So could he score 40 points? Sure. I mean, I see that, but I also see that there's a much likelier case that Russell Wilson is going to score 30-something points, and either way, you're getting a 3x return on that spot.
Agreed.
Dak Prescott's another one you got to keep on the radar. You're talking Dak versus the Saints in the Dome. That's going to be a high-scoring, high-flying game.
That's why I don't want him.
We saw it last week. Well, he'll score 3 or 4 touchdowns.
In the Dome, though.
So what? You get negative points for that?
No, it's just loud.
Well,
we've seen plenty of games there that, teams coming in expecting to beat the Saints, and no bueno.
Everyone expected the Seattle to beat the Saints last week. How'd that work out?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's going to be another one of them high-scoring games. I mean, the Saints were not expected to put up the 31, or whatever. Was it 31 they put up last week? 37, whatever it was. With a rookie backup,
He's not a
rookie, excuse me,
not a
with a
rookie.
backup quarterback.
Yeah, but he was a former starting quarterback,
Yeah,
so
I know,
you can't
but
really call
and
him
the
a
week
backup.
before that, everybody trash, and we talked about it. You got to give him a chance to get his own playbook in there and let him have the right one for him. It's going to be another one of those games. Dak's going to have to light it up. I see value there all over the place. And how much is Dak? 12-1. You can go.
Let's.
I'm just putting it out
we
there.
can definitely see
Yep.
if we can work him into the lineup. I'm just saying I would rather save
Yep.
the $700 and go down to Russell Wilson, who has a much better matchup against a terrible team.
Yeah, he's
you know,
playing against Arizona, and Arizona.
And Arizona's
At home.
horrible against the run. Is that what okay, I can't use Chris Carson because I don't know if he's going to be it. But it doesn't mean that Russell Wilson. I could see Wilson getting me the 3-point bonus for both 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. I could see him racking up both of them.
That is quite possible. And Arizona's defense is 30th in the league against the quarterbacks. So, I mean, I'm not going to debate the Russell Wilson. It is a smart play.
All right. Moving over to running back here. I'm on a guy that I've really had to work very hard this week to sell both of you guys on. And he happens to be the most expensive running back on the slate this week, and that's Christian McCaffrey. I think that this is a great matchup for him. He is predominantly, he doesn't share with anyone. He is the running back. Now, barring injury, I think he eats, especially against Houston. You know, I can see him scoring 45 points.
Steve, you've convinced me throughout the week. And the only reason why I was on Elliott as opposed to McCaffrey, and honestly, I'd like to probably have a share of both of them, is that, most projections are pretty much coming out very similar. And price point is that, I really I didn't want to pay down at wide receiver because I saw a couple of wide receivers that I felt are absolutely going to go off this week. But I think there might be another way that we can go about that. So I'm totally okay with playing McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's I can't disagree. McCaffrey's the matchup he has this week is definitely there for it. But Jim, but then you thought that against at Tampa too, and you did nothing.
But that was you had his you had an injured Cam Newton there who wasn't mobile at all. So I just think that the dynamics changed with the backup quarterback and the fact that you're going to feed the backup quarterback is more likely to feed him the ball or the tight end the ball than it is going to throw it way down the field. So he did it last week. And so I agree with Steve. He's going to get the volume. And we're playing on fantasy draft here. We get a point per reception. I mean, McCaffrey could easily have 8 receptions, and that's you're starting with 8 points.
Yeah, I mean, the guy plays almost every snap. I mean, 2 weeks in a row, he's played 100% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Week 1, he played 56 snaps for 93%. So, I mean, he's averaging, 95?
And there's no timeshare with anyone.
Yeah,
there's nobody to spell him, and whoever it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Another person that I'm on as a core play is Austin Eckler at 15-1. Like, I'm paying up at running back this week, and I'm choosing to pay down at 2 wide receiver slots.
It makes sense.
Or pay down at 1 wide receiver slot and go heavy on running back the rest of my slate, which is what I've been doing.
Austin Eckler against Miami with the worst run defense in the league.
Now,
and Justin Jackson isn't going to play. Now, there's a little talk that Melvin Gordon, who came into camp yesterday, might have a limited role, but I think that limited role is carrying the water out for Austin Eckler. I mean, it's I'm being a little facetious there, but
you're being a salty Charger fan is what you're being.
Yeah, I'm just saying, look, go. Melvin Gordon playing a little bit and spelling Eckler doesn't concern me at all here.
Yeah, I feel very strongly about him. Another person that I'm hitting on where you start getting some salary relief is Kerryon Johnson, Detroit.
Absolutely.
Going up against Kansas City. He's 9.9K, 9,900. I think he gives you some relief salary-wise. Drop him in your flex. and I really like the position he's in. I really wanted to go down the road of Wayne Gallman because I think they're going to fit him in the role of Saquon, but I think they overpriced him he's at 10-8.
I agree with that. And
running back, and I mean, and he's cash game, and he's both cash game and GPP viable because he's going to get the volume out of that offense.
But is he going to catch the ball? Is he going to have 18 carries for 65 yards?
That's the giant question mark. I mean, I would take him as a flyer in a GPP. I mean, I think he's a cash game lock. I think the volume's just there. Anything out there that he'll catch? Nothing on the wire.
Okay, watch put our quarterback in there, the 2 running back. Well,
started building our lineup yet.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out a name that I just kind of stumbled upon right before we came on the air. And I'm not shoving it down your guys' throat. This is one of those like,
oh, I know where he's
that's interesting. And here's what's interesting is that not only is Justin Jackson out for the Chargers, Mike Williams is out for the Chargers, and Virgil Green is out for the Chargers, the tight end. So now you have a backup tight end at minimum price going against Miami and Sean Culkin, which is $5,000. I played a lineup last week where I did play 2 tight ends when we got the news that Rex Burkhead was going to have a bigger role. And that lineup scored 208 points when I played Evan Ingram and Carolina's, help me out here, guys, tight end.
Greg Olsen.
Yeah,
Greg Olsen last week. So, look, I think we're all likelihood we're going to be attacking Arizona's defense again. We're tied in with Will Disley at 6,800. So I'm just hypothetically, if we were to like kind of eat it with this flex spot at 5,000 with Culkin and kind of help for a few points or a miracle, all of a sudden we can go up and get Allen and Julio or Allen and Hopkins or something along that lines.
Interesting. Let's see what happens when we get to the lineup build. A couple other running backs I want to bring out here. Value plays. I like 2 value plays, and I can't believe I'm saying this guy's actually a value play. Leonard Fournette. He's making my builds too. He's actually a value at 10-9.
I have him in one of my lineups.
I mean, considering you think about Fournette and the price that he has garnered year over year, just in historically.
Yep.
I like Fournette. I also like Josh Jacobs against Indy.
Well, I'll second that Fournette thing, and I wrote about it in the article. And the reason why I like Fournette is I figure like if he disappoints again, which he's done the first 3 weeks, I could still pencil in for like a 1.25x, and I know that he isn't gonna like I can make it up elsewhere. That his performance isn't going to prevent me from getting the money, but he could against Denver, who's allowed the most rushing TDs in 5, provide the performance that allows me to get to the top of a GPP. So I think he has a really solid floor with a high ceiling. Especially it came out squawking yesterday that they're not using him enough. They're kind of like the greasy or the squeaky wheel looking to get the grease. So I'm not opposed to Fournette at all.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to Fournette, and I'll throw out one other name, and it's just because he's dirt cheap, and that's Chris Thompson. He didn't disappoint last week either for Washington.
No.
Pass catching back, going up against the Giants. We know how the Giants' defense is. He could be a sneaky, definite GPP play. I wouldn't play him in cash games, but a GPP play if you're looking for that little extra salary relief. And he's only going to run you 8.8K.
You can't go forward to Josh Jacobs, though.
Look at what... Okay, here's the only reason why I'm going to say Josh Jacobs, okay?
I mean, I know it's a good play. I mean, even DraftKings has him in one of their prop bets.
I have Josh... The only reason why I'm saying Josh Jacobs is Devonta Freeman last week ran for a yards per carry of 5.5 yards. That's Devonta Freeman, who's done nothing.
Yep.
He has shown nothing this year. He had one good game so far.
Yes.
And we've seen what Josh Jacobs can do when healthy.
One good game so far.
He wasn't healthy the second game. He got hurt the second game.
He still ran for almost 100 yards that game.
And he was hurt.
Okay, well, on 12 carries.
So my point is, I think Josh Jacobs is a sneaky play considering the Colts' secondary is dynamite.
I mean, last week
But stopping the run is not their forte this year. It's not their strength.
Last week I get it. They were behind the whole game, and they only ran him 10 times for 44 yards, which still isn't a bad yards per attempt, but what's
4.4.
44 yards.
I'm just saying, if you want to put a GPP...
And didn't he drop 2 balls?
If you want to put a GPP flyer in there, he's not bad. He's not going to cost you a ton either.
No, and like I said, DraftKings has got him in a prop bet this week, so everyone's kind of looking at him.
All right, you guys on anybody else? Because I can move off of... I'll tell you right now, I'm fading Gurley this week. I'm fading Marlon Mack this week. And I'm fading Philip Lindsay this week.
I kind of got some exposure to Philip Lindsay. I said it last week. It was a smart move. I like it again this week. Actually, I got him in 2 lineups for fantasy draft right now. We mentioned Leonard Fournette and Dalvin Cook.
I'm definitely fading Dalvin Cook this week.
I know you are.
Going up against the Bears defense. I know we all want to say he is that talent that is, plug him into your lineup and he's going to return for you. This Bears team is pissed. They're going to come out and they're going to play. And it's a division game.
It's a short week for the Bears.
And it's in Chicago.
And it's a short week for the Bears.
I have one other running back that I want to talk about because only me, myself, and I are going to play him.
Yep. Ain't getting me in.
Nobody else. I am playing Kenyon Drake in my my article lineup. He's at 7,900. And I know it's great. You guys are laughing at me. And the reason why, though,
to be like, yeah, who's laughing now? And he's like shading the cash right now.
He said, look, his total touches for the last, since the start of the season has gone from 6, 11, 15. He's on a projection to touch the ball 20 times this week. The Chargers are a bottom 3rd defense traveling across country who are totally beat up. If this guy does nothing but catch 4 passes for 30 yards, I'm still getting a 1.2 return on the value. But
it's not going to be cash, though.
But it's not going to prevent. Look, what prevented me from cashing last week was that I had Darwin Thompson, who got me 0.08 points. The article lineup still had 175 points.
Do you know I ran McCoy last week? I ended up running McCoy in both DK and Fanduel, and he, I think in all the 50-50s I dropped him in, I think I got first place out of that just because he went off.
Kenyon Drake got that many touches last week because it's the first game he started.
Right.
He was a feature back.
He's going to get the touches.
Yeah, because they're trying to trade him. Here you go, kid. Go run. We need to get some value back for you. Go do things.
The Chargers have allowed almost 300 yards rushing in the first 3 games for 2 TDs. They've had 10 receptions for another 79 yards and another TD. Yeah, they've on average have allowed 21.6 fantasy draft points per game.
I'm not going to argue with you, but wasn't those
them.
rushing yards against really good running backs, not the likes of Kenyon Drake?
Who's a really good running back the Chargers have faced this year?
I don't even remember who the Chargers faced.
I think they faced a Marlon Mack at the
who 8.
Yeah, last week was Houston. And they placed Kerryon Johnson in week 2, who we're playing this week, but Kerryon Johnson's getting a bigger role, and as the Chiefs just are horrible against running backs. My point is they haven't faced a top echelon running back, and they've been giving up over 20 fantasy points a game to him. I'll get off my horse now. I'm just saying I'm playing them because I'm also able to play, Allen and Lockett as wide receivers, and I'm excited about that.
I can see that.
Speaking of wide receivers, good transition. We'll go there now. Keenan Allen is a lock for me. He will be part of my core lineup build this week. I think he just eats, considering all the injuries that are on that
next 2 weeks.
That team. I do have a lineup that has Rivers, Allen, and Eckler as the stack in that line, and I think that line is actually going to perform well. A couple other names I want to throw out there for wide receivers, just based on matchups. Sammy Watkins has a great matchup. Cooper Kupp, I really like him. If you're going anywhere near the Rams game, I would go after Kupp. Who else here? Tyler Lockett, you mentioned him. He has a great matchup. He's going against Tremaine Brock.
He's at 20 yards per reception.
And,
and then Lockett is probably going to get 10 receptions.
and he's only 12.
Also, out of the Seahawks team, and this is where I'm going because I'm fading Lockett just because I think of the ownership, and I'm going down to DK Metcalf, who is 9.4K versus the Tyler Lockett 12K. So
I like the play there.
I'm saving myself $2,600 alone right there, which is where I'm getting the money to go after McCaffrey, is because I'm shading him or fading Tyler Lockett. And I'm still getting the stack with Wilson. And, once we get the tight ends, Disley. Who else do I want to bring up here? Dan and I had a brief conversation before the show. He heard from someone in the industry, don't fade. Take a look at the Arizona wide receivers. Larry Fitzgerald, who if the season ended now would be number 13 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Old man Fitz is still kicking and still doing things, and he is the featured wide receiver in Arizona. Followed very closely on the heels of Christian Kirk. I don't think Kirk has a really good matchup. He's going up against Shaq Griffin. It kind of scares me a little bit. But at the same time, I can get on board with it because now you're almost game stacking that game by getting some exposure to the other side of the ball. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the high-end guys, like you mentioned, a Julio, a DeAndre Hopkins, who has a great matchup. Who is he going against? James Bradbury?
I don't know offhand. You might be right on that, though.
I think is the corner that's going to be shading or, following him. Odell, if you want any exposure to Cleveland, I don't know if you might or if you want to.
No.
I would go Odell in that. And that's just like I have a feeling about that. He'll get you your return. Is he going to?
Who were you asking about in terms of CB matchup?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Dante Jackson.
So
he has a 52.9% catch rate, 13.56 yards per reception, and is targeted 14% of the time.
And someone else that I really like is Curtis Samuel.
That's not a bad call.
He is very well liked by what's that quarterback's name out of the backup for Carolina? His name's escaping me now.
You're crushing me. You got me on Curtis Samuel, and now I'm trying to get stats on the other one. It don't work like that.
I'll find it.
It just don't work.
It's on the tip of my tongue too.
Kyle Allen.
That's it.
Kyle Allen.
Who probably wouldn't be a bad play, but I think they priced him out at 10-7, and the quarterback pricing is so heavy on fantasy draft, it's kind of crazy.
See, the Curtis Samuel move is not bad. He's getting 10 plus yards of reception. I mean, he's finally found the end zone last week. Started all 3 games, and
who threw him the ball? Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen, yeah.
If there's one guy in all of these, I think you really need to play, and I think it's Keenan Allen this week.
Yep.
Because Miami just hasn't been able to cover slot receivers, and he's actually outscoring all other receivers by a full touchdown a game.
The only other name I'm going to throw out there, and I'm going to go back to the well on. I'm going back to Oakland against Indy is Tyrell Williams. I think if he gets covered at remotely at all by Pierre Desser, he's going to eat.
I agree with that, and I don't think anybody's going to be on Tyrell Williams like we were in week 2.
Is ownership
2%,
maybe.
Can you guys believe that Ingram and this fantasy draft thing went off at 1% ownership last week?
I can't believe that. I mean, we talked about Ingram the entire show.
We didn't play him, but it was still. I mean, it's like he scored 40 points, and the winning lineup that won the 100,000 didn't play him.
Nope.
No, they had all the other guys that you would never even think of.
They had Jameis Winston. They had the Jameis Winston, Mike Evans stack, which wasn't, look, a lot of guys were saying Mike Evans could have a blowout game, and he did. And Jameis Winston was on a lot of radars, but it was like, you got to show it to me before I'm going to play him again.
Okay. You got to play him. I mean, it's tough not to.
All right, let's build it out and see where we're at in terms of.
Let's do tight ends real quick. I really don't think this conversation is going to take very long. I think there's 2 or 3 plus plays that you can play that are cash or GPP locks here, and that's Evan Ingram, who we just mentioned, Will Dissly, who we brought up earlier, and if you want to put him in cash, I think it's TJ Hawkinson against Kansas City.
And the problem we have with Ingram and fitting him into this lineup is he's literally twice as expensive as Dissly.
Yep.
In terms of all the other players we're talking about.
I'd rather the salary relief. Defense, really anything out there, I think. So speaking of defenses, Dan, while I get this set up, why don't you give the little chat to the people that you and I had earlier this week about paying for defense?
Okay, so we and everybody else in the industry last week were on 2 defenses. It was either the Patriots, who we went with against the Jets, or it was Dallas against Miami. If you want to go all the way down to the bottom and save some money to build elsewhere, you could have had the Jets at like 3,800. Well, guess who ended up scoring the most defensive points last week out of any team? It was the Jets against the Patriots, despite the fact that they got absolutely wiped, and that's because they scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Now, look, the Patriots haven't given up really a touchdown all year long. Sure, if you can afford them, play them. There's some others, if you have enough money left over and they're in good matchups, sure, play them. But I think the attitude you've got to take towards defense is look who you want to play on offense first, and then see where you're left in terms of defense and just roll the dice. Because you might have ended up rolling the dice and playing the Jets last week at no ownership and gotten 16 points. So I'm actually becoming more a proponent that defense just be taken out of DFS like you have kickers. Or here's another way to do it, and I just want to get you guys quick feedback on the stock, because I'm literally going to send it to our contact at FantasyDraft, is like a goalie in either hockey or soccer where you get 8 or 10 points for win. Just say, hey, the defense gets 10 points if their team wins the game, and you price the defense based on Vegas lines projections. So last week, New England would still be the most expensive, and the Jets would have been the cheapest, and the Jets would have gotten you 0 points because they lost the game.
That's an interesting thought. I don't know if industry will bite on that, because I think they like the sliding scale and having the ability, like if a defense scores a touchdown, you get your 7 points for that. And you get an interception, you get your 1 point for that. And you get a sack, you get your 1 point for that. And I think it's just random, though. It doesn't make you a better DFS player. If you really want to turn DFS on its head, play IDP. Call it a day. You want to play true DFS where you got to win to win to win? Go build a lineup where you got to build out a defense too, and give a bankroll that is adjusted accordingly.
Well, sure, I agree with that, but I mean, how many hours we put in just trying to build an offense? I just think you're going to lose too many players. I mean, I agree that is a better way to go about it.
I'm not saying it has to be a core of the site. I'm saying, but it could be an option of people who, that's where you put a big bankroll, like a $2 million tournament where first place is taking $1 million, and you got to build the perfect, full roster. And it doesn't have to be completely full roster. 3 defensive backs, 2 linemen, 2 linebackers, and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I agree with you. I'm just kind of getting fed up with defenses that,
All right.
It's the least thing I'm worried about when building a lineup now.
All right, let's build this lineup here. Fantasy draft. We're going to build our $1 million line set at 700,000 Hooters main event. 100,000 goes to first place. This week, the entry fee is $28, ladies and gentlemen. Pay out, get paid. That's how it works. Gentlemen, let us talk about quarterback. You all know who I'm on, and that is Russell Wilson. Webby, you are on
Yup.
Dak.
No, Daniel Jones
Daniel Jones.
against Washington. His
All right.
performance last week showed he can play.
Dan?
I'm on Russell Wilson. I'm sure Daniel Jones did it once last week, but Wilson isn't that much more expensive, and he's just got a heck of a matchup, and he's doing it. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones isn't going to have a great game or whatever. I just think the probability is so much higher with Russell Wilson.
I'll tell you this. I will play a lineup with Daniel Jones. I don't think I have the confidence in Daniel Jones to put him in a lineup to win $100,000.
Okay.
I would put him in a lineup that's costing me $4, not $28.
Okay.
Right.
That's my level of confidence. I saw you play 1 week.
Yeah.
Replicated against
I'm not
a
disagreeing.
shitty team
Not disagreeing
in
with
the
you.
Redskins, and I think the Redskins are better than everyone actually gives them credit for, but I think it's more about what's going on with the coaching staff that is keeping the Redskins back, not exactly the personnel on the field. Opinion. Running backs here. All right, gentlemen, you all know where I am at, and that's Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Kerryon Johnson, and I'm open to interpretation elsewhere.
Well, look, I think go ahead and plug in McCaffrey because I want to have. I mean, I'm playing this lineup too, and I'm playing Elliott in the other one. And Kerryon Johnson totally makes sense. I'm not opposed if you want to go down. I really haven't, kind of off my radar, and you kind of brought it to him, is Chris Thompson. And I say this, guys, the best way to become a better DFS player is to do exactly what we're doing right now and share information. We share it. I mean, all week long, I had my first lineup up on Monday night, and Steve was laughing at me, but that's where the beginning of the thought process went to today's show.
I got a lineup in. I'm like,
so did I.
I'm like, the games aren't even. How are you doing that? It's not even established for the next week yet.
Yeah, it was.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Pricings was there. My way too early was Daniel Jones, Dalvin Cook, Philip Lindsay, Keenan Allen, Sterling Shepard, Austin Hooper, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, and the Carolina Panthers D. That was during the Monday night game.
Well, you almost went naked with Daniel Jones, but you threw in Sterling Shepard.
I wanted to give the Kupp win.
Are you going to run that as?
I'm going to run it. I'm debating on whether or not I'm going to do dual entry this week and run the two lineups that I like.
All right. Second running back, you said Chris Thompson. Webby, do you have someone else you want to throw in the pile? If I'm paying down for Chris Thompson, I'd rather pay up for Kerryon Johnson. I'm just saying.
What's his price?
Kerryon Johnson?
Yeah.
$9,900.
Well, we're going to go Eckler in, right?
Well, we haven't gotten that far yet. We're on RB2.
Okay.
So
you got McCaffrey. I pop him in, and I.
All right, wide receivers. This is where I know we're all.
I just like.
I know.
Too.
I know.
Two lineups, and he's only 10-2.
I don't know if we're gonna have the cash for that, but we'll see.
It's $300. You were yelling at me about 5 before. Now you.
I think Kerryon Johnson's matchup against Kansas City is better than Philip Lindsay's matchup against Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
What did Jacksonville do to the beast running back from the Titans? They shut him down.
Yep. You're absolutely right. In a game script that was set for just that. I don't think this game script is set for that.
It's still Joe Flacco.
He's horrible.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Pest.
Obviously, we're all going Keenan Allen. We've come to agreement. All right, wide receiver 2. I am open to interpretation here. You all want Tyler Lockett? I will put him in there.
I don't think we can afford it with McCaffrey. I totally don't mind going down to like the DJ Moore area or something like that in Carolina if we want to get some salary and be able to pay up elsewhere.
DJ Chalk.
Yeah. Or yeah.
DeMarcus Robinson, Randall Cobb, go back to the well. Curtis Samuel, $9,900.
Okay. I think
DK Metcalf, if you want to get that stack in there. He's $9,400.
let's go with Metcalf. So we're gonna probably double stack him here.
All right, tight end. We're, I'm guessing, all in agreement. Do we want to go Evan Ingram or do we want to go Disley?
No, I think we want to go Disley.
All right, so we have 9,700. Why don't we go down and get our defense out of the way?
Let's not. Let's just get the player we want.
All right. Flex. Who do we want? We want Eckler, or do we want Thompson? We want Julio
Or Kamara.
Alvin Kamara at 16.6. Interesting. How do you feel about that? You're the fan.
I mean, he ate last week.
It's at home.
And it is home. And the guy's a human pinball machine, just spiraling, bouncing off of people. What's his price?
He's the second most expensive running back at 16.6.
So you're looking at putting the top two running backs
Yep.
at 38.
Yeah. But look. But then you have Eckler, who, I don't know, he doesn't have Jackson there. It's against Miami.
See, I'd rather go Eckler. I think that's
yeah.
All right, so 14 grand, 7,000 per. That takes us down to the 9,000 range. We have Curtis Samuel, Tony Pollard, Sony Michel, Stephon Diggs, Jared Cook, Devonta Freeman, who I have no interest in, Tariq Cohen, Darrell Williams, Chris Thompson, 8,800.
What about Curtis Samuel again at the 9,900?
Can do that. And that leaves us 4,100 for a defense. That puts us at Cleveland Browns, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Detroit Lions, Miami Dolphins.
I kind of like the Browns because I know they have the playmakers there.
This looks very eerily like a lineup I have already built. Like, extremely, very.
I think it's one I very almost identical. I sent. We were chatting back and forth.
Go to Slack and look at the last lineup I sent, or one of the last lineups I sent you. I think I built this lineup.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, look,
I'll have to go in and check my lineup that I've already submitted because I'm playing one of my own because, well, we won last week and I have cash to play with. All right, fair enough. Anybody want to make any changes here? Webby? We have no money on the table.
I know that. I mean, Cleveland Browns.
Do you want to go? Do you feel strongly to pay the extra $3,000 and go get Tyler Lockett? If we do that, then we go down and get that no-name tight end from.
No, I see. I mean, I'm not a fan of Will Disley, but I like him in this matchup. I mean,
how can you not?
I know, because
Arizona can't cover the tight end.
Arizona can't cover much of anybody. I mean, they're ranked 32nd.
Okay, so I actually, right before the show, was kind of goofing around with that Culkin thing. We could keep everything exactly like we have, except we put DeAndre Hopkins in as the second wide receiver. So it'd be Allen Hopkins, Disley, Kerryon Johnson, Culkin. And we'd end up with a Tampa Bay defense against the Rams.
Take the Tampa Bay defense right now and leave the lineup as is.
So what?
Okay.
Take out DK
you
Metcalf.
Leave 200 on the table then.
So wait, we take out DK Metcalf.
No, he's saying keep the lineup the same and just switch out the defenses to.
I'm trying to work your thing here. So
okay.
DK Metcalf, and we go down. What's this kid's name? $5,000.
Sean Culkin, Chargers tight end.
Culkin.
5,000.
Yeah, there's a lot of them at 5,000.
Is he even going to play?
There's no choice. Virgil Green's out.
Oh, okay, right. Funny they have no news on him though.
Oh, killing me here.
Just type in his
Chargers.
name. Hit find.
Culkin, C. And we go get DeAndre Hopkins, you said.
Mm-hmm. Texans right up there in the middle.
Minus 3,300. Something has to give.
It's you got to take. You take Curtis Samuel out and you put Will Disley back in. So you're playing 2 tight ends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he passed him. No, he went too far, I believe. I'm not sure. Why can't you just type in DIS? I mean,
it's just the scroll bar keeps popping up.
Still haven't found him, have you? Oh, you did. Okay, yeah. You're still 200.
Minus 200.
Now we go to Tampa Bay.
Go to Tampa Bay.
Right.
I mean, like I don't hate this because I feel like Hopkins and Allen have the possibility of getting 70 to 80 points between them. And I don't care if Disley has 2 catches for 6 yards.
Yeah, well, what do you care about what Calkin does?
Or Calkin. I mean, I don't care what Calkin does. If Allen and Hopkins, and I've got McCaffrey.
So, I mean, well, let me ask you this: do we go off Russell Wilson now and go get? Just go get Rivers and put the stack out there. Can you do a 5-player stack?
Yeah. You can, but then we have to make an adjustment somewhere else. Because Rivers has that extra 1,200. We're at 0. And we're at the bottom of the basement for defense.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to. We can't fit it. I don't know how I feel. I have mixed emotions about it. I like the other lineup a bit better, but as I said, I know I also have that lineup. I'm pretty positive I have that lineup. I mean, I like the Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins. I like that idea. I like the Eckler idea. I mean, maybe we go off McCaffrey.
Why?
I guess, yeah. I mean, we're all in agreement. I'll hit pay. We'll roll it and see how we do.
Sure.
I mean, you're sitting there, got that shit-eating grin on your face. What are you thinking over there?
I'm thinking I'm going to try and do what I did last week and beat this lineup again. I
have a lineup that I'm pretty positive might beat this lineup.
Okay, well, when you do that, you can bring it. And, yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, either this is, look, I think if Calkin runs into a touchdown, we're going to, be like our phones are going to erupt against each other.
If Calkin runs into a touchdown or 2, this is just going to be this right here could be $100,000.
You're punting 2 positions.
What 2 positions are you punting?
Tight end
and defense.
Oh yeah, defense. But you got no choice this week. The defense. I mean.
Okay, but does Calkin at 5 and Will Disley at 6'8"? That's 11,800. Is that a 2x between them? Is that 23 points based on what Disley can do against Arizona? I think it is.
Yeah, I don't want to disagree because I think you're right. Is that possibility that
have they even been looking at Virgil Green?
Yeah, he's had a couple. I mean, if you pull up Green's thing, just real quick, I got to get going, but let's take a look at Green real quick, and just in terms of he's had 2 or 3 catches every week. So it's not like the tight end hasn't been part of the Chargers' offense. It's just been a lot limited when you don't have a Hunter Henry there.
Yeah.
So
honestly, Virgil Green's 105 years old. So I mean, what Sean Calkin 24? So.
All right, I'll buy into it. I'm playing it.
Okay.
Confirm entry. I'll buy into it. We'll see what happens. What is it? It's $28. The rest of the lineup could outperform everything, and this could be a $100,000 lineup. Who knows? Unlikely, but hey, you never know. Okay, that's the beauty of all this. All right, Dan, you got time to do a Fanduel lineup, or you got a boogie?
I got a boogie. I've got my kids' movie night at the school, so I'm excited about that. And good luck on.
What are you watching?
We're watching Up, which, not the best of Disney movies, but it's about, they have food trucks there, and, you guys are freezing back east, and it's California, and we're outside at 8 o'clock at night watching a movie with the kids. So,
yeah, thanks.
Now I'm fired. I know. Okay.
All right, Dan McClellan, senior writer, ironicmedia.com. check out his article. We'll drop a link to this podcast in his article once we get it posted. Thanks, Dan. Have fun at the movies.
Okay. Take it easy, guys.
All right, late. All right, Webby, why don't we go through the process here of building ourselves a FanDuel
Yeah, I was just
lineup?
logging in here. I was want to see what's my free bet this week. Oh, it's FTP. Okay.
Let's see what we have here. We have $3 million maker, NFL Sunday Million. All right, let's talk this through. How do you feel about
the $9 entry?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Let's see pricing over here. I really haven't looked at
Russell
FanDuel.
Wilson 7,800. Phillip Rivers is cheaper than Russell Wilson, or same price 7,800.
I'm not really liking Phillip Rivers. I know it's a good matchup, but
Where do they have him priced at? I think I'm going to go on your train here.
that's what I was looking to see. Where
Damn,
is he
he's
priced
cheap.
at? 7,300 with Daniel Jones.
7,300.
He's so cheap they don't even have a photo of him in the system yet.
7,800. Russell, so he's a $500 value. Where are you going?
I told you I like the Daniel Jones, and I like the stack also. Or at
All right,
least
well,
a
you
wide
know what?
receiver.
We'll do that. Daniel Jones.
How come I can't find him now? There he is, Daniel Jones.
Running
There he
back. McCaffrey's $9,000. Eckler is 8,100. So let's do McCaffrey and Eckler.
is. Jeffrey and-
Wide receiver. Keenan Allen is 8,100.
Yeah.
We got 3 wide receivers here, so we need to. We're gonna need to punt someplace here.
Why punch? Just go for Sterling Shepard. 6,500. And then you got the mini stack.
Sterling Shepard 6,500. Kind of like Sammy this week too. 6,900. Where we at bankroll wise? 21,000. 52.50 per player available.
5,250. Then you throw chalk in.
DJ.
Got a horrible matchup though.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go with TJ Chalk, Seattle.
Philip Dorsett.
DK Metcalf 6,100.
You're hot on this guy.
I am as hot as you are on Tyler Lockett. I'm hot on that kid.
Where is he? 60 what?
6,100.
J Metcalf, huh?
Tight ends.
You're liking him because of the Arizona game?
I think he can eat. Tight end. I'm going Disley.
He's only getting 3 receptions a game.
5,400.
I don't know about him, bro. 3 receptions a game for 72 yards. And, no touchdowns. 0.3, which means he's had 1 touchdown in 3 games.
Right.
I don't know. That's
Call it a gut feeling.
That's tough for me to swallow. And how much is he? 6,100? Man, I'd rather.
So you pivot someplace else. Go
I'd
ahead.
rather go to Chalk, or I'd rather go to Josh Gordon, pay an extra 100.
See, I think if you're going to go to the New England game, go to Dorsett, and he'll save you even more money.
And, Josh Gordon ain't no better either. Dorsett's not going to have 2 games in a row, though.
47.50. If I punt defense, I get some cash back.
I'm going to go Marvin Jones Jr.
Oh, chasing points from last week?
I had him in a lineup last week. He scored points, didn't he?
Yeah, he ate. He's the one who got all the catches as opposed to Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, well, Galladay's trash. Sorry. I know everybody likes him, but...
I'm going to
He's a one-hit wonder. Where are we,
go...
tight end?
I'm going to go defense so I know what I can play. Well, tight end I put in Disley. Will Disley.
What's my cash left? 15 grand.
Lock it in.
I will take Greg Olson.
Oh, terrible matchup.
Yeah, gonna need to throw over the middle though. Is he still hurt? How is he? #21st ranked defense. Going defense, huh? So, what's left on the table here? 15. 15, $5,000 ahead if I wanted to go that route. Then you could take it 4,700 Jacksonville against Denver. Denver's not all that great protecting their lines. Throw them in there. Which leaves me 2 position players at $5,000 apiece. I would change. Tight end at a flex.
Oh, can I fit him in there? $5,800.
Can't go back to the well on Vernon Davis. I can't trust him anymore.
Flex. I'm going Wayne Gallman
Take you this
at
way.
5,800.
Flex. Yeah, 5,800. Higher than that. No, I'm less than that. $5,000. Not going to help in a flex
I
spot
have
now, is it?
3,700 for a defense, which gives me the Seahawks against Arizona. And I can sign up for that. So my line is Daniel Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Sterling Shepard, DK Metcalf, Will Dissly, Wayne Gallman, Seahawks defense. Enter.
All right. Daniel Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Sterling Shepard, Marvin Jones Jr. Will Dissly. Cody Lattimore.
Okay.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
What I'm thinking.
All right. DK, 4.25 fantasy football millionaire, $20 entry.
Hold on.
What I like over here.
Create lineup. How many lineups? What are we playing? The 12 games?
Yeah, 12 game.
Tough. $50,000, $5,500 ahead and change.
All right, I'm going here. I'm going Russell Wilson.
Yep, going Russell Wilson.
Running backs, I am going to go McCaffrey, Eckler, and I'm going to go down here.
Taking Dalvin Cook. I'm leaving Eckler on the floor. Eckler, and I'm leaving McCaffrey on the floor.
I'm going to take Keenan Allen.
Cooper Kupp.
I'm running out of money fast.
Tyler Lockett. Yeah, big time.
Running out of money fast. Expensive. Pricing is tight. Cody Lattimore. Giants. DK Metcalf, where are you? Okay. 4,800.
I like him. I just don't trust it. Do not trust it.
Will Dissly, salary relief, defense. I'm gonna go Buccaneers defense. Punt it completely. I need the money. I only got $9,000 to play with here. I got a wide receiver and a flex spot to sort out here.
Buccaneers 2,100, huh?
2,100, baby.
That's okay. I only got 3,800 left on a flex spot.
I got 4,500 for 2 spots. What do we have here? Will Fuller's 4,500. Zach Pascal. I'll take Curtis Samuel. 4,600. 4,400 for a flex. What does that leave me? Willie Snead, Frank Gore, Rexy Burkhead, Austin Hooper. No. Daniel Thompson, Carlos Hyde, AP. What do we have here? Oh, Thompson. Just 4,500. All right. What if I completely punt defense? Can I get one for $2,000? Dolphins D for $2,000.
I punted Russell Wilson and went Daniel Jones.
Oh, that's where you saved your money?
Daniel Jones, Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett.
Wait. Start over.
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Dalvin Cook.
Yes.
Austin Eckler.
Yes.
Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
Shepard.
Okay.
Sterling Shepard. Took you Will Disley.
Okay.
Took the Browns defense.
Okay.
And I'm going to eat all day with Paul Richardson Jr.
That's a solid lineup there, bro.
That's one
that
of the
is
starters.
definitely so. Like this lineup: Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Curtis Samuel, Will Disley, Chris Thompson, Buccaneers D, and I'm shy $100.
I mean, not playing Jones this week is really tough, man. I mean, I know he's 23 at 36, but he threw for 336 yards.
It's just show me more.
And he's going to do the same
That's
thing.
That's the whole
again.
thing. Is like I need to see more, but I get your point.
He's playing Washington.
All right, let's do this.
They're abysmal
Daniel
right
Jones. Now. If I do Daniel Jones, that gives me $700 back in the kitty. I can go up from. I'll go up from DK Metcalf. What does that get me in the range of? 5,500. Stephon Diggs, D.D. Westbrook, Marvin Jones Jr., John Brown, David Robinson, Jarvis Landry, Marcel Hardman, and Tate, who's not playing. How much was Sterling Shepard? 5,800.
Yeah, 58.
Now only at 55.
Oof.
How much was Paul Richardson?
Paul Richardson was.
Is he less than 4,300?
3,700.
Ooh, 4,300 gets me Marquise Lee, Corey Davis, Kenny Stills, Mohamed Sanu.
All those names you haven't heard of all year long.
I know, except for Corey Davis. He had like one good game.
Mohamed Sanu, I'm lying. You heard him on the one primetime game, and all you heard him was drop balls.
Chris Connolly, Danny Amendola?
Non-existent. Well, maybe he could be existent again. But
Paul Richardson going against the Giants. So which means I can go up in defense. 2,700 gets me to the Raiders, the Titans, the Bills, the Browns. Cardinals. They all suck.
What is this FanDuel bonus this week, too? Roster the overall lowest priced player who scores a touchdown in your Sunday Million lineup, and you will win a share of the $100,000 in addition to any other prizes you win.
So cheapest quarterback to score in any lineup or in a $1 million lineup?
Roster the overall lowest priced player who scores a touchdown.
I'm going to go Titans. All right. Daniel Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Sterling Shepard, Paul Richardson Jr., Will Disley, and Chris Thompson. Titans defense.
Smart. You're grabbing what? 2 wide receivers from the Giants and the quarterback? I mean, it's a stack.
Only one wide receiver.
I mean, one. I had 2 in that game.
Yeah.
You got both sides of the ball. Which Sterling Shepard should have a great game.
All right, let's do our money lines here. What do you like cash games this week?
Oh, hold on.
Sports betting.
Open up my sports book. Let me see sports. Oh, it's DraftKings, right? Dirt. Oh, right here.
Hey, Thump, you can take down the
lineup
window. Thank you, sir.
I ate last night. That was a good thing. We had 3 bets right off the top. This week, location confirmed. Thanks very much. NFL. You get some tough games. Point spreads are very on the money, Vegas line-wise. Very much on the money. I'm tempted to give this 7.
Which game?
And take the Patriots. I'm going to take the money line on that game, except you won't make much. The money line on that's 305. I mean, if you wanted to parlay, you could take the Patriots with the Ravens. Chargers should probably beat Miami. I'm not a big fan of the Indy Colt Raiders game. The Colts for real? Maybe. I don't know. Texans, Panthers. Houston will probably win that game straight up. Stay away from the points. 4-point game.
You think Houston's going to win that game straight up?
I think Houston wins that game straight up. I don't think the Panthers have got it complete yet.
Can you put that up so I can see what your...
-4 on this game. So if you want...
That game's a trap game.
Well, I mean, the trap game is a little bit lower this week. Hold on a second here. If we take the Patriots and the Ravens, the Chargers, I don't want this game. Take the Texans. I do not like the Tennessee Titans-Falcon game at all. It's a 3.5-point game. I
think Atlanta wins that game. The Titans are a disaster. The only way the Titans win that game is if they pull out Marcus Mariota and put in, come on, he's your girlfriend's former quarterback.
Who is that? Fitzpatrick?
No.
Oh, God. Miami.
Yep.
I forgot his name now because he's so rememberable. But yes. What the hell is his name? Tell me. You don't know either.
I have it right here.
Yeah, you don't know either.
It's not my job to know.
can't,
It's Miami. Who
I
cares
can't
about
remember,
Miami?
Yeah, I can't remember everything. I'm going to take the Giants over the Redskins on the money line. I'd probably take the points on that, too. I like that. I think it's a good move. The Rams-Bucks game, it's 9.5. The Rams should beat them on the money line. I don't know if I take the points in that game. You might want to take a look at the halftime point spread on that game if you're playing over on DraftKings. I think, yeah, DraftKings and Fanduel does it too, right? They have a sports book. This game, I think, is a trap game. The Seahawks-Arizona Cardinals is a total trap game. I might just take Arizona in this and the 6 points.
Really?
Yeah. Seattle showed absolutely nothing last week against the Saints. Absolutely nothing.
Even though
it was a close game, but
even though Russell Wilson had a premium game.
Yeah. But they just didn't show me enough for me to trust that team still. This here is your trap game of the week. Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. This can go either way.
I wouldn't call that a trap game. I would just stay away from it.
You can go either way.
It's a pick 'em.
I mean, the Vikings...
That line's going to drop to 1 before game time.
Probably. The Vikings with... Who's that quarterback? Kirk Cousins?
Yep. He's probably going to lose his job shortly.
Against Mitch Trubisky.
He's sitting over there smiling.
With Mitch Trubisky, I'm staying away from that game. I mean, if you want...
Hey, man, if this dude doesn't do something in the red zone soon, he ain't going to have a job, and he's going to be an $85 million backup quarterback.
Yeah.
You heard it right here out of my mouth that shit will happen. Yeah.
Guaranteed money. The Broncos-Jacks game, I'm not going near it. I'm taking the Saints on the money line. I'm taking the Saints with the points, and I am taking the over in that game. The Monday night game, your call, people. Cincinnati Bengals.
Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
I think Tannehill gives the Titans a better opportunity to win football games, and just resign yourself to the fact that Marcus Mariota is a draft bust.
Oh, big time.
Just because you got him number 1 doesn't mean you got to play him.
No, I mean, look how many number 1 picks this year alone are not even playing. And I don't mean quarterbacks. I'm talking number 1 pick overall. Down the board. First round picks, not even playing. Big time busts. Tank.
That's been the past couple of years.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so what are your locks? I'll give you my locks.
Oh, you want a lock? Okay. You take Giants over Redskins, lock it in. Saints over the Cowboys, lock it in.
Homer.
No, it's just going to play out that way. And, of course, the easy one is the Patriots over the Bills. You can lock it in.
No, you're not making any money on that, though.
No, you're not making any money on that. What's my parlay out here? This is 7 teams. There's 1,200.
Yeah, put your $20 in, and you're going to win what? 266.
266.
So 246 is what you win.
Yeah.
My lock of the week is the Raven game.
Ravens, huh?
Minus 289. Take
Yeah.
that bet. Put $40 or whatever, 400, whatever your unit of measure that you like to gamble with is, and roll with it.
That's not a bad move in the Ravens game. It shows promise. You can make some money on it.
It's against the Browns.
Against
Come on.
The Browns. Minus 295. And that's not much money to be made there.
Yeah, $6.
20 gets you 7. You got to lay almost 300 to win 100, right? Yep.
300 gets you 100, yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know how much I'm actually going to gamble this weekend. I'll figure it out come Sunday when it's actual time to do it.
Right.
But with that said, I've got nothing else. You got anything else you want to share with these people?
No.
All right, well.
No. Let's wrap it up.
All right,
Good
ladies
luck
and
this
gentlemen,
week.
good luck. Good luck to you. Let's
Yeah.
see how our lines perform in this $1 million fantasy draft maker and Fanduel and DraftKings. And we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Later.